of advertising, corporate affairs, media strategy, and the unfolding exciting world of digital marketing. Join the trendsetters and key decision makers as they shape opinions and project into the future of the marketing landscape for 30 exhilarating minutes on this channel. Stay ahead, be thrilled to beat, be marketing savvy with Marketing Edge on TV. Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yuri Folarin. But let me quickly say compliments of the season, where I think we still have the time with which to say it. In fact, I think all of January, the same month when by the 31st they say we won't be using the Naira notes anymore. I mean the 1,500 and 200 by the 31st. So I guess even though that's an aside, but right up to then, compliments of the season is still in order. I hope I meet you well. And well, quickly into business. It's election season. In February, the country is agog already, as you know. Well, one of the highlights yesterday was the Presidential Campaign Council of the APC yesterday holding a world press conference and saying that the presidential candidate of the PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, should actually resign. I think they gave some options. They also wanted either he be arrested and he be prosecuted. Long story short, they feel that that is the APC Presidential Campaign Council feels that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has no business in this race anymore. Now, that's not what we wanted to actually discuss this morning, but then it happened. In fact, as you know, we will try and prepare ahead and of the day. And so this went and came in and it's become an elephant in the room. But what we wanted to talk about before all of that was the chances of the APC presidential candidate in Anambra State. As you know, it doesn't matter how many votes you get, you have to be strategic about it, and you have to, there are some states that you must win in if indeed you are going to carry the prize, in addition to what is your core area. And so we're looking at the chances of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar in Anambra State, where that's part of the southeast, in Anambra State. Anambra is an interesting state politically, and a guy who knows about the politics in Anambra State is with me this morning in studio, Comrade Uloka Chukwubuike. I tried.
Very well, very well. Good morning, Elder Yuri, for having me.
Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. You know, and I'm delighted that we are face to face in studio, even though sometimes we have to go, technical, and we still enjoy that. But there's nothing like a face to face
conversation. So, yeah.
Yeah. So thank you very much for coming in. Now, I imagine that we'll be talking about the elephant in the room somewhere along the line.
Oh, no problem.
I don't know if you wanted to lead with that as a matter of fact, so we can get that out of the way. Your candidate now is in imminent danger of actually being excused, allegedly, by his own behavior from the race. First of all, that is the position of the campaign council of one of your oppositions. When you look at all that was presented, you know the story very, very well.
Yeah.
There's a certain Mr. Michael Achimogo who has made, far-reaching statements, has done a court affidavit, has actually then also provided a voice note, so you know that there is something to what he's talking about. How did all of that grab you, and what do you think it means for the presidential campaign of PDP?
Okay, thank you, Okoyori. First of all, I love the way you put it. It was an alleged situation. You said allegedly.
Benny.
Now, we live in a situation where I love what the APC is doing. they've considered to be the underdogs in this election. They have left their position as the ruling party to become the main opposition. It's now assumed that Atiku Abubakar is now the president, that everything they are doing, they are now raising on how to see how they can get to Atiku Abubakar. It's unfortunate that after 7 years of administration, the APC is still running around, beating around the bush on what to tell Nigerians to get them re-elected in power. It means that the APC does not have any manifesto. They don't have any scorecard. They've been running about Atiku Abubakar. Atiku was the vice president of Nigeria so many years ago. Why are we discussing it today?
Well, because it's a very important issue.
It's an important issue.
Because a person who would be the president must be seen to be
now,
above
when you look
board.
at the press conference which you highlighted by the APC, which I call it was just kind of the mediocres gathered to kind of unleash, do a media frenzy. Because you cannot come in a press release and compel the security agency to arrest someone like Atiku Abubakar, a presidential candidate, a former vice president of the country, a full Nigerian, who's not hidden anywhere, he's everywhere going on his campaign rally, and you're compelling the security agencies. What happens to investigation? What happens to due process? If you have any case against any Nigerian, against a particular person, you know the agencies and authorities to approach. Now, on the issue of Achimogu, I wouldn't want to delve into that because the young man in question, I don't know him, I've not met him, I doubt whatever his claims, but I want to bring to a fact that we are living in a digital world where people go into the room, coin whatever that makes sense to them, and just come outside just to seek attention. When you look at it, my principal, Atiku Abubakar, has not, showed any interest or attention to that. And to wrap it up, Achimogu has gone to the court to swear an affidavit, and I believe that now has become a content of court. So I wouldn't go further to discuss it. One thing that is certain here is that the voice, Atiku has not said it is his voice, it has not denied. He has not said it his voice, and I will not be here to speak for him, an issue that I know he is hale and hearty to speak. But one thing I want to add here is that you are talking about a man when he was the vice president. What happened to the man who was at the helm of affair, who probably delegated function to him? I'm not acknowledging.
No. APC in the
I
outing,
am not.
APC in the outing have taken issue with both former President
So they have to,
and former Vice President.
The Constitution is very clear on the position of a vice president. He has no constitutional power over anything.
Okay.
He's a spare tire to the president.
You said a number of things, but that it's your prerogative to say, and we anchors, we try to stay neutral.
Okay.
So there are some things that you said in there, and you said, why is the APC going about, if they had anything more substantial, shouldn't they be talking about that, not this? Well, they themselves provided the answer to that, because they allege that, look, their principle, Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, all spurious kind of stories. People were running with them. In fact, they indicted the press, remember? That now the press is silent. Maybe that's why they had to go with their own global press conference. Now the press is silent. What's going on? When it was our principle, as they put it, spurious lies were spun, and the press was carrying it left, right, and center. Now the press is being quiet. So maybe they felt that there's this need to say that in case you missed it, there is damning evidence on the ground that the person that is being considered from the PDP fold, what are the words now? These anvils around his neck. How is he going to float?
Now, when you involve the press, I believe that the Fourth Estate of the Realm is an independent party, which in of the APC is a global situation. We have a man who has a case with the United States of America, an issue of, the story. He was indicted in America. He has to forfeit some amount of money, showing that he has accepted that he committed a certain, Is an indictment on his side to have forfeited.
If you're going to go there, sir, if you're going to go there, then you must be as accurate as possible.
No, I don't want to go there.
They have spent a lot of time explaining all these outtakes.
I'm not here to discuss him, but I actually highlighted him because you made a statement. He is not on the same. He has not been found guilty for once.
Okay.
All the things that have been going around are mere speculation, which the oppositions would definitely have to throw out there to see if they can catch up. Atiku is leading the race. Atiku is moving ahead. Atiku, by the special grace of God, is going to be the next president of Nigeria.
Okay.
And the people, the group who are supposed to be the ruling party, who unfortunately, due to their maladministration in the last 7 years, have considered to the underdog and taking the opposition. They are now starting to learn the role of an opposition, which we have done for the past 7 years for them. I think they are now starting, now that the administration is coming to the tweet light, to learn what it means to be in the opposition. And I acknowledge them for that. I appreciate them. We have to do that. So I believe that those guys need to pay more attention on the issues surrounding the presidential candidate of the APC, who is unelectable.
Okay. Well, as I said, it's your prerogative. You can say these things. APC, the campaign council, is up and doing. It responds when it feels it's necessary. It has done so copiously in this instance. But that, as I said at the top of the program, is not the program we planned for today. But it is the proverbial elephant in the room.
So we have to deal with it.
So we have to at least touch on it in passing. So maybe we've done enough of that. You said some very interesting things in there. Atiku Abubakar, for example, I don't want to extend it. Atiku Abubakar, for example, having been vice president for 8 years and then being a public figure, most people know his voice.
Very well.
You did say that there is nothing to say that was Atiku's voice.
Yeah.
So, but most people know his voice. But as you said, perhaps it's a matter within the judicial process. So maybe we should leave it there for now.
Let the judicial handle it.
Until it comes back into the fray as something that we can talk about. But I don't want to miss the opportunity of talking about the battle for Anambra.
Thank you.
And when you look at Anambra, Anambra is, you could see it as a PDP state. PDP, APGA, both of those states.
Yeah.
Both of those parties.
Yeah.
Because even right now, the incumbent governor, Soludo, he's there under APGA, but he has also been in the PDP before.
He's a product of PDP.
Okay, if you want to put it like that. Obi is also a product of PDP.
Yeah, Obi is a product of PDP, Soludo is a product of PDP, and they are all from Anambra State. This is to tell you the formidable force of PDP in Anambra State, which cannot be quenched anytime soon.
Now, your main interest is with Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. He's the PDP candidate. Is his whole process, his whole train, is it not in imminent danger of being derailed by the goings on and the fact that any fallout between the other two, Obi is likely to just gently and quietly walk away with the prize. Obi's votes, potential votes, could very well, the votes of Atiku or the votes of anybody could actually be, split and divided. I don't know what
it depends on the area where you're talking about.
Okay.
When you come to the southeast, here, I have interest. When you talk about the southeast,
I'm talking about the southeast,
where I have
especially.
interest.
And in Anambra in particular.
When you talk about in Anambra in particular, there are a whole lot of references to make.
Since
1999 till date, the PDP has never lost a national election in Anambra State. Okay. Even when Obi was the vice president, we did show our commitment.
When Obi was the
vice presidential candidate, sorry,
okay.
to Atiku Abubakar in 2019, we showed our commitment to PDP. All along, we've been showing our commitment to the PDP. Since 1999 till date, we have never reneged. We have never left the PDP. So why wouldn't the PDP win Anambra State again? When you talk about a particular, now let me put it, I'm not here to discuss any particular candidate.
Okay.
I'm here to discuss my own candidate,
exactly.
The chances of my party in Anambra to win election. Today in Anambra, if the election is conducted today in Anambra State, I am certain that PDP will win majority votes in Anambra State. The PDP has built, like you highlighted, the present governor of Anambra State today is a product of PDP. The man in particular you're talking about, who is still running for the presidency in an unknown party, is still a product of PDP. He was in PDP until a few months back that he left. So whatever he has been going around him has to do with PDP. It means that PDP is the most viable bride.
Well, indeed. Okay. The reasons, there are reasons for things. And, one of the reasons that Obi, headed out of, he couldn't, it has to come to the south.
That's not true. I think these are one of the stereotypes that have gone on for a long time, which I think the media has to be part of to help up to dismantle. The PDP has been fair to the south. The composition of Nigeria is between the north and the south. The PDP has allotted its lot 16 years of power The South took 14 years, while the North had just 2 years. So it would be fair for the PDP to have given the North the right of first refusal in the 2023 presidential ticket. But yet, it was thrown open for everybody to participate. That allowed His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar to have emerged victorious and become the presidential candidate. The primaries of the PDP that happened some 5 months ago shouldn't be the center focus in today's politics. We have less than 37 days to the poll. We should be discussing how are we going to get Nigeria recovered? How are we going to solve the security problem, the economy problem, and all that? When you talk about the Southeast, which I want the media to be at the front run and dismantling the stereotypes around there, we were not prepared going into the primaries. It was open for everybody to participate. Go back and look to the candidates that contested. How many votes did they get? How many of the delegates were coming from the Southeast? Who did they vote? It tells you that even Peter Obi were among the people that sabotaged the interest of the Southeast, because Peter Obi, from the onset, never told anyone that he was interested in contesting for the presidency. He never said it anywhere. He never made it anywhere. The Igbos, it is understandable that in Nigeria today, it is only the Igbos that have the template that called Omunna, that is applicable in all situations, where we go inside an Imo Obi to discuss the agenda of Ndibo, the development, and everything that has to do with Ndibo. And we come out with a unanimous presentation. There was never anywhere that Obi made it very clear that he is interested to run for the president. And he even, at least, pleaded to be accepted as a consensus candidate. Whatever, he has made it very clear everywhere he has gone to, that his ambition is not about Ndibo. It's not about the South. It's about his personal interest. He made it very clear that he did not even inform his party, his family members, and even his boss, and no elders in the party. And this is the reason why across everywhere he goes, there is no Southeasterner, any elder or leader from the Southeast extraction that is with him. I'll give you another reference. Where in this last December 15, 2022, our presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar held his campaign rally in Anambra State. The picture of the rally is out there, the videos, the clip, and everything is there. You can imagine, Ekweme Square in Anambra State is about 50,000 capacity. In Anambra trooped out in March. They flew to the length and breadth of the stadium to receive Atiku Abubakar. The last few weeks ago, the same P2B had his presidential campaign rally in a kind of an autonomous field somewhere in Onitsha. He couldn't even get up to 1/4 of that capacity. This is to tell you where Anambra are tilting to. Now, I also want to put this fact before you. It is morally right for Ndibo to agitate that it is their turn to produce the president of Nigeria. It is morally right. But when you come to politics, it's about the strategy. It's about your preparation. It's about the numbers. The only thing that is important to the Southeast today is to form an alliance. All along, we've been betrayed by other members of the South. In 1999, we supported Olusegun Obasanjo from Southwest to be president of Nigeria. He was president for 8 years. It was the vote of the Southeast and the North that made him president. We supported the same PDP and elected Yar'Adua and Jonathan to be president. He was president for 2 years, and we all know what happened. May God bless his soul. And Jonathan became president. It was the Igbos that rallied around Jonathan. In fact, we made it a course of action that if anything happens to Jonathan, it's an attack, a direct attack on Ndibo, that this man is taking the slot of the Southeast. We went further by giving him the name Ebele Azikiwe to tell Nigerians that this man is one of us, is from us. If invariably we want to discuss about the Southeast presidency, we all trooped that. When you look at the record since 1999, it was only the time of Jonathan in 2015 that we have given the PDP the largest number of votes. Even when P2B was on the ballot in 2019, we won Jonathan. This is to tell you how we accepted Jonathan, how we embraced him. Now, away from that one, when you talk about the Southeast also, I wish also to remind you that Nigerian constitution made it very clear how people can be a member of the communities, be a citizen, and be privileged to everything that is shared among people. Atiku Abubakar is one of us. He's from the Southeast by the association of marriage. He is married from Onitsha. There is no meeting today in Imo Obi that Atiku will be part of that will excuse him. No. Because he has aiding from us. He has drunk from us. Everything that concerns him concerns us. By association, he's from the Southeast. So since we've came in for the PDP primaries that was thrown open, and we couldn't have a candidate that won it because the moral question around it, that it was supposed to go to the Southeast. And we have someone like Atiku Abubakar. For me and the many other people out there, we believe that where Atiku is,
I don't think I want to say that that's stretching it a bit, that Atiku is actually from, if not Anambra, the Southeast, by marriage.
By marriage, he's married an Igbo person. And we know that the dominant, where the Igbos are dominant in Nigeria today is the Southeast.
That's right.
He cannot come to Enugu and he will call that you are an in-law to Anambra alone. He will be an in-law to Ndi Igbo. So he's to the Southeast. He's always welcome in the Southeast. And the last presidential rally,
your party broke faith with morality that you have cited. I'm guessing that Peter B would have been happy to run under the PDP, but he saw that that was not going to happen. That wasn't going to happen.
He wasn't prepared. No.
It wasn't going to happen. The way he saw people going.
If he was prepared, you don't leave the room until the last count.
Okay.
Peter B left before the last count.
Okay.
If his presence was still in the party, or if he had communicated to the elders and leaders of the Southeast who are members of the PDP, perhaps something would have been done. But he never informed anybody. He left on his own without consulting the leaders, without consulting nobody.
Because he knew what was coming down.
No, you do not assume.
He's a politician.
In politics,
you don't assume.
You don't assume.
Well, if you okay, I won't argue the point with you. I won't argue the point with you because you are an insider. So
Thank you.
You know. Emmanuel in Otukpo has called in. A fine morning to you, Emmanuel.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, welcome back from a well-deserved leave.
Thank you very much.
In your absence, Nitami wore your tall cap creditably well.
He did a fantastic job. Thank you very much.
He did. Yeah. About what you're discussing, the allegation against Atiku is dead on arrival because after being vice president, he has contested election severally. It's just like the case too about Tinubu, which was dead on arrival. We should be talking about issues and not with hunting candidates. That is that. About Anambra State and the chances of Atiku, I'm convinced that Atiku will have a bright chance in Anambra because the Igbos play funny politics. They are politically immature. And Anambra is it's a unit of the Southeast and is speaking on behalf of the entire Southeast. Hearing what the representative in the studio is talking, you can understand and agree with me that Atiku will have a very good chance there because he has sold a dummy to the Igbos. And Charles Soludo has coined into it like a kindergarten, swallowing the bait, hook, line, and sinker. He's telling them that he will be the stepping stone to Igbo presidency. After 4 years, he will step down so that his chosen choice can continue. And Charles Soludo thinks that is what he should believe in. Well, he has forgotten that a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. So they will fall for that dummy, and they will regret it, both ends, head or tail, they will lose.
Well,
so,
thank you, Manuel.
Back from your leave, and God bless Nigeria.
Indeed. Thank you very much for calling in.
Going about
a dummy being sold?
Yeah, no. Going about what I think where he said that the Igbos are politically immature, I think he was wrong. I think that in Nigeria today, the Igbos are the only people who are politically mature. If we're politically immature, we wouldn't have stood by the Southwest to produce presidency in 1999. If we were politically immature, we wouldn't have stood by the South to produce the presidency in 2011 and made an attempt in 2015. It means that we have believed that the South should come together. In fact, the Igbos have become the catalyst of the South. But otherwise, the other parts of the South have betrayed the Igbos. And when you look at the composition of Nigeria since the First Republic, alliance has always worked between the Southeast and the North. It was that same alliance that assisted us in making Nnamdi. And Nnamdi Azikiwe was very popular in this time, more popular than the man that is going around today. He was the Zik of Africa, but he could not win any election on his own.
And that was because of alliances.
He became president because of the alliance that happened. In 1979, that same thing between the NPN and NPP. It was the same alliance that made us, that we produced the vice president in Alex Ikweme. And the alliance between the NPN and NPP, because the NPP that won the presidency did not have the majority in the House, and they formed alliance because they needed an alliance to have the majority and protect the presidency. They formed alliance with the NPN that gave them the majority in the House, and an Igbo man became what? The Speaker of the House. The alliance has always worked. Chief Edwin Ume is okay. The alliance has, and we had the same era we had Ekweme as the vice president.
Okay, one moment.
The alliance has always worked between us. So because of what he said, that the Igbos are politically immature, I want to correct that immediately.
You disagree strenuously with that.
The Igbos are the most politically mature. We are intentional. We are liberal. We like assisting, but in all of that, we have not gotten our assistance from all of our neighbors in the south. And this is the reason why we are insisting on Atiku Abubakar to replicate that same vision of our founding fathers.
Let me bring. Good morning, Ada in Jos. Thank you very much for holding on.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Good morning, Ada.
Compliments on the season.
Compliments
Happy
to you.
New Year. Thank God for answered prayers. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Okay. Now, well, I want to say something here. I'm not carried away by the crowd, you know, because people don't use to rent crowd. You know him, he's not a shishi man. So that is it. Then another one is that don't wonder, your guys there is complaining. You know what happens in Igbo land? Everybody wants to become the president. If P.W. had taken that route, they wouldn't even allow him to throw his hat in the ring. So let him just try his luck. It works out for him, fine. Then there are Chimoga something. I found it so laughable. Let me tell you something, really. When I saw that APC conference and everything about Atiku Abubakar's case, that thing looked like, for me, it looked like a tale of moonlight. I'm not saying I'm holding this for Atiku Abubakar, you know, but it was so ridiculous, the way they are taking turns with their users, we are users people. There, you know, you saw the way they talk, you just find it laughable if you're somebody who is intelligent enough. So then the Achimoga himself, I don't keep popularizing. I hope he doesn't lead to something else, because he's not a whistleblower. A whistleblower that has exposed himself. What kind of rubbish is that? And all this while, he was part of the crime. Because if he said it was his media aid or whatever, and then he knew everything and he didn't talk about it, I think I've been protecting all this while. So I don't know who advised him, whether he doesn't have siblings. If it's my siblings, look, I will tell them to ostracize. What this is that? I just hope he doesn't get himself in trouble, you know. I'm not saying that I think he might not have done that, or whether the voice is his or is not his. But the way even that whistleblower did it looked as if it was sponsored. You know, I don't know. It's really unfortunate. You know, in fact, it looks like a child's play for me. You know?
All right.
So let's let APC follow due process and go about it. And then for me, it looks like a kettle calling a pot black. Let them tell us what they're going to do and all that. And we are tired of thinking about all these problems. All the same, let's not just be how I did, man.
All right, Ada, thank you very much for calling in. I'm going to come back to you, but let me go on a break so we get that out of the way and we have fewer disruptions. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for ascending as the arch are meant to be.
Voted as the best TV station of the year. TVC News breaks into the core of every event as they happen. Following all nationwide big and impactful stories. Without the news from every perspective, covering every human angle. I am Veronica, bringing you the news you
Welcome back, and my guest in studio is Comrade Uloka Chukwubuike. He's, Deputy Director, Media and Publicity of the Atiku Okoa Campaign Council in Anambra State. We have also on the line Daniel in Port Harcourt, who's been waiting. Good morning to you, Daniel, and thank you for waiting.
Good morning, Ogayori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Yes, I hope you will tell us the secret of your smiles.
Just being rested. So, one is rested.
So, back to the issue. I think, first, let me start from the Anambra issue.
Sure.
I think the election will be very interesting. Very interesting in the sense that in politics, we must respect some certain persons who over the years are always turn up numbers for a political party. I'm just saying that because somebody joined a new political party, that will change automatically. It won't happen that way. There are people who are contesting senatorial seats. There are people who are contesting House of Assembly seats, State House of Assembly seats. And you think they won't work for their party? They don't want to win elections? So that's why I think that Anambra alone will be a pointer. Like your guest in the studio said, well, certain persons have not moved with Peter Obi. But I tell you that PDP would give a good show in Anambra State. And in the entire Southeast, just watch and see. Because you cannot say that a political party that has turned out votes for several years will suddenly just go away. It doesn't happen that way. Elections don't happen there. Even if there are changes, the changes are just going to be minimal. It will not be a swooping change. I think you should out a political party. It will be very difficult. That is one. Two, on the other issue of the article that you mentioned, I think for me as an individual, I'm not interested in whether it's the APC, whether it is the PDP, anybody, I'm not interested. I'm interested in that. Can we find out if our commonwealth has been appropriated by one man? I'm not interested whether it's PDP, APC, I'm not interested. If Atiku thinks that he has been accused wrongly, the courts are there. If he thinks that his voice has been taken wrongly, I think he can go to court. There are emails this man has sent. Those involved, I saw Benga Daniel there, those involved should start talking and say, no, I never did this. And so for me, I don't care about political parties, but when it comes about our commonwealth, as long as I do not have the right to put my hand in it, no one has the right to.
Indeed.
And that is why I'm saying that I am taking this seriously, and I am looking at events as they unfold. Because by tomorrow, we are going to get to the stage where we are saying, that man did, we didn't investigate, and all of that. It doesn't matter the time. It doesn't matter when. Let everybody go to court, and let us settle this out of court. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for waiting and indeed for contributing your piece. There are a number of things which one do you want to comment on? Because we're coming from Ada and her contribution, now up to Daniel.
I think I will start from the first lady that said
that is Ada in
she forget about the Omona. But whoever that followed the Igbos of Nigeria very well will know that there is nothing called Igbo without the Omona template. The Omona has been responsible for all the progress, all the development, and everything that is applicable to Ndibo in Nigeria today, by extension the Southeast.
That is within Ndibo.
Within Ndibo.
Is it roughly comparable to the Omoluabi concept of the
Does even understand Yoruba?
Well, yeah, but, the Omona, it's a moral code.
It's a moral code that brings us together.
You do the right thing.
That brings us together.
We are people of honor and dignity.
Exactly. It brings us together to know what is our agenda. What are we going for? And this is where I said that P2B never called Ndibo anything. He didn't regard us. Because if he had regarded us...
He's an Igbo. He's of Ndibo
no, there are a lot
himself.
of people that are called or claim to be whatever, but we also know the traits. The trait of Ndibo is by your antecedents, by your record, by your behavior, your attitude towards that which you claim. His attitude and the last movement he did was anti-Igbo. You don't move on your own and expect us to move. Now, I keep saying it that Igbos are the people with dignity and honor. We don't go where the crowd is. We are certain and intentional where we're going. I am not trying to relegate him to the bottom corner, like whatever a lot of people have been saying. He's from Anambra, he's a former governor. But we don't see him as a force in Anambra State. In fact, it was the PDP that made him. I also want to remind the viewers out there and to you, Uncle Yori, to acknowledge that when he left as governor of Anambra State, his political career ended. He was lying low. He was nowhere to be found. Nobody knows about.
He was in the political wilderness.
He was in political wilderness. You can even say that P2B was in hibernation after he left office as governor. It was Atiku that resuscitated his political vibrancy. It was Atiku that restored his political sagacity. It was Atiku that restored his political image that today he's dwelling upon. It was when Atiku picked him as vice presidential candidate in 2019 against the wishes of party leaders and elders in across Southeast and Nigeria. Atiku insisted with him that he must go with him. It was Atiku who harnessed his full potential. Even him, P2B, does not even know his full potentials. Well, because looking at his record as a governor of Anambra State, he performed below the benchmark.
Well, you would say that because you are in opposition.
I'm not saying
in opposition to him.
I believe that I am not here to discuss people. I'm here to discuss issues.
To discuss the issues.
Now, when we talk about issues, about facts and figures, the facts and figures of while he was governor is out there in the public for everyone to peruse. The facts and figures of all his successors and that of his predecessor. The only person P2B is competing with today is Chimaro Kembadinuju, and not of Obiano or Soludo. But that's not the issue. But the only reason I'm highlighting this point is to remind people that it was Atiku that made P2B whatever he's enjoying today. The phenomenon that he has become among the young people today, who he has been lying to. I keep defining this P2B issue. I'm not here to discuss him.
You say he has been lying to them, whereas there is nothing about P2B that was in secret.
I'm not here to discuss anybody.
But you said you're not here to you say you're not here to discuss anybody. But then you put the anybody in.
There is need to highlight, elaborate some certain things. The issue of P2B is more like a young boy who found a little naive girl somewhere and wanted to kind of, come close to the young girl. Those days when we were young.
You see,
those days when we were young.
There is no P2B person here. There is no. So it's not fair. It's not fair to go this way. We're looking at the battle in Anambra.
The battle in Anambra, what I'm trying to say is that it would be unfair of P2B not to have at least acknowledged the importance of Atiku Abubakar in his political life.
Okay. And let me also thank Mr. Ade in the UK for holding on for quite a while now. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. I hold on because you just came back from holiday, even though you didn't visit London. So I use that to welcome you.
Thank you very much. So, what do you think about the battle for Anambra? The battle for Anambra between the PDP, the APC, and for that matter, what was the other one? The Labour Party.
You just reminded me.
What concerns me most is who is going to rule Nigeria. And it's going to be Peter Obi, by God's grace. Because Atiku has served as the vice president. That's enough. And the northern people have had their share. So it's Obi for presidency.
But it depends on the people. It depends on the electorate.
I'm telling, go and mark it. I'm telling you that Obi will win the election. Mark my word. Obi will win the election.
Okay.
It's just February now. My prayer is that they will not postpone the election. That's all. There will be no problem. So once they don't postpone the election, Obi will win the election. Clean and clear. Okay. Southeast is the next. So let's vote for Southeast. God bless Obi. God bless Nigeria. God bless Dr. Yori. Next time, come to London for holiday. I want to spoil you here.
Indeed. Thank you very much. And for that matter, continuing his prayerful mode, God bless all the candidates, all the
and sustain them in good health
in this particular endeavor. That one was a bit below the belt, but I didn't hear about
No, it wasn't below the belt. I know we are in democracy. We have not lived.
Now we're talking about the battle for Anambra.
We are talking about the battle for Anambra.
For example, your governor. His Excellency
Governor Chukwuma Soludo.
Yes, former governor of Central Bank, Governor Soludo. He's of
APGA.
Yeah. Where it can be important where the governor of a state leans. They're both Anambrians, They're both politicians. They might not be in the same party. They would have been in the same party until Peter Obi left on a moral ground. You've explained it.
Peter Obi did not live on a moral ground, please.
Okay.
I said that the issue of Southeast presidency, for me and many people out there, is a moral question, because there hasn't been any president from the Southeast after we had Nnamdi Azikiwe in the First Republic. But this is politics, and we are that Nigeria is divided into the North and the South, and we are talking about PDP. In the last 16 years that PDP held power, the South have gotten 14 years, while the North got only 2 years. It would be fair for the PDP to have at least ceded the ticket to the North to give the North sense of belonging in the party. Remember, there is nowhere in the section of our ground norm, which is the Constitution, where the presidency is said to be rotated between the North and the South. What the Constitution is said that let there be a president. It doesn't care where it comes from. It is rather for justice, fairness, and equity that PDP as a party, which I believe is the largest party in West Africa, which gave template for whatever party that is coming up. Whatever party that is coming up got their constitution or whatever they are doing.
You say there's nowhere in the Constitution that,
the Constitution did not stipulate.
It did not. But then people came together and had an understanding, if not an agreement.
What kind of agreement? What is the agreement? Make it very clear.
That this time, all over, can we look towards the...
Who are those people that had that agreement?
Political minds.
Who are those people?
Up and down the land.
Which up and down the land? Are they unmasked? Are they not people we know? When you talk about something, say, in the PDP, let's put it very clear. The PDP considered all factors. The PDP looked at everything. They looked at all the records. Even for the PDP to decide, those in the PDP would have said, let's give this to the North to accommodate the North in our party. But no, it was thrown open. And I came back and I told you that we, the Southeast, was not prepared going into that election. Why did I say this? Even Peter Obi wasn't the only candidate from the Southeast. We had Anyim Pius Anyim, we had Mao Abunwa, and a whole lot of them. But why Peter Obi left, others remained uncontested till the finishing line. Now, what votes did those who participated got? That is to tell you that unpreparedness of the PDP going into that, the Southeast, not PDP, the Southeast going into that election. Because if we are prepared, why Peter Obi left? He wasn't the last man on the line. We still have Pius Anyim and Owabunwa. We should have at least unified our votes for these guys. At least that would have been a loud statement that the Southeast is truly ready. But we were not ready, and we have said that. Now, while we were fighting for Southeast president, which I told you, and I will insist and I will keep saying, that has become a moral question. No region in Nigeria can be able to produce the president alone. We need an alliance. Exactly. Now, for the sake that when you look at Anyim Pius Anyim and Owabunwa, that they got paucity of votes, which it is even theirs and their associates, that no other person, it tells you that there is a lot of work to be done. Okay. Our interest is for PDP.
I want to bring in
our
Mohammed.
interest.
Mohammed has been waiting here for us.
Let me drop this.
Okay.
Start discussing the issues of Southeast president, which I'm sure Atiku will make manifest.
So this will be after, if the electorate agrees, after.
They will definitely. They are saying not all over, even in Lagos here.
Mr. Mohammed in Abuja, thank you very much. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for holding on.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. Welcome back. Happy birthday and Happy New Year. Happy Christmas.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Happy New Year.
Yes.
You are looking fresh, Uncle Yori. You are blessed, seriously. Yeah, concerning Northerners and justice and whatever, the North has already decided we are going to give the Southerner this time around, nothing like North. Buhari has done his ACA, the South, for peace, justice, equity, and justice, for peace to reign in Nigeria. The Southerner, either Peter Obi or Asuwaju, will be the president of Nigeria. But for somebody to say Peter Obi will be a president in Nigeria, he's just joking. When did Peter Obi join politics? Is it not Atiku that brought him out? As a governor, even my 23-year son, you don't know who is Peter Obi. My 23-year son, that today he graduated.
So what you're saying then is that when you look at all the workings out, you think that indeed it is going to be, along with a comrade here, you think it is going to be Atiku. So we're looking at, I was saying that the way this thing is going, votes might be divided up. After all, you remember that the ruling APC, for instance, both in 2015 and before then, the president Buhari, he didn't twice, but nevertheless he still went ahead to
become the president. And that, but talking about Buhari, he got votes. But perhaps you say he didn't get the majority votes. But talking about, he has supporters in the East who voted for him. He had people in the in the Southeast. I believe that we are liberal with our votes. We voted, but we have decided on who is going to get our chunk of votes. Because whenever we are making demands, we know where to make our demands. Those who gave our chunk of votes. And that is the reason why we are saying again, we are giving our chunk of votes to Atiku Abubakar. That's not saying we won't vote for any other party.
Yes, because
we are liberal with our votes. We are not giving all our 100% votes to the PDP. Since 1999, we've not done that. And we are going to accommodate all voices. We are going to accommodate all political parties. But if
it's not Ashwaju, then it will be someone
else. That is a personal opinion. It is more like it is more like me coming here. If it is not going to be Atiku, then it can't be anyone else. It's my personal opinion. So we still have to at least acknowledge that we are in democracy. It's a game of number. On that day, the electorate will decide.
So,
the electorate will decide. Okay. So we are waiting on the electorate to decide. But looking at Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, who, according to Mohammed from Abuja, I think he doesn't have any record he's running upon.
I see.
He doesn't have any record he's running upon. The APC has messed Nigeria up. And he couldn't even come out to even defend Buhari. In fact, everything he is doing today is anti-Buhari. Because he goes around highlighting
anti-Buhari, and I haven't had to say that much simply because there are no other people here.
And I'm saying it because they are on the same political platform. He is trying to succeed Buhari as the president.
Because I want to hear what you have to say for your candidate and your people. You know, that's why I'm allowing. You know. And
I understand that. I understand that.
Mr. George, good morning to you, sir.
Uncle Yori, welcome back. Oh, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you very much.
You have to bring our chicken.
Thank you very much,
welcome
Mr. George.
Back, indeed.
Indeed.
Uncle Yori, what is happening to Atiku is akin to what is known as natural justice. In the first place, he's not supposed to be on the ballot. And any other northerner that is in other parties are not supposed to be on the ballot. But he bulldozed his way through, and that has brought crisis upon crisis for him and his party. The arrangement or agreement is that when power exists in one side of the country, either in the north, the next one is to be in the south. The era we are now is for the south. As far as majority of Nigerians are concerned, this election is between Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Obi. Both of them are from the south. So I agree with Mohammed that the election is between those two people that are from the south. The northerners should wait for their turn. Whoever wins between Peter Obi and Bola Ahmed Tinubu, after that, power will go back to the north. That's what everybody knows.
Indeed.
Now, if you look at the presentation the PCC made, APC Presidential Council Committee that they made, downplaying the obvious will not help. The issue at stake is very, very serious. Festus has said that if it means he resigning as a minister of the Federal Republic, he's going to do that to pursue that case. As we speak, even the gentleman before you there hasn't got the courage to say, yes, this is the voice of my principal, or this is not the voice of my principal. If he's saying that he does not even know that he cannot identify the voice of his principal until a court makes a pronouncement, that case is going to ruin the career of Atiku. I'm not causing him, but that's the truth of the matter. And coming back to Anambra's politics, when you cannot take something out of nothing, if you are not qualified to be on the ballot in the first place, why should you be scrambling for votes that you know you cannot win? Let us wait.
Okay, Mr. George.
25th of
Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George.
No,
I'm going to, Comrade Uloka,
let's do.
I'm going to give you the last word.
Yeah, let's
just about 90 minutes.
Okay.
90 seconds, I beg your pardon.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the last caller that came in now.
Yes.
There's a democracy. We have to leave it for the electorate to decide. Now, I'm still trying to say that we are a democratic...
He cast the understanding that it's had up and down this country.
Now, we have
the president should come from the south.
No, it is not a law in the country.
No, I didn't say it was a law.
It is not in our constitution.
And
I believe that we are still Democrats.
It's an understanding.
It is not a law. It's probably, I don't know where the understanding. We have to do what is in peculiar with our constitution, our grand norm. Talking about the north and the south, we know that there is no candidate from the south in this election. For me, if the candidate has to come from the south, it should be from the southeast. But if the absence of a southeasterner in this election, let it go back to the north. The PDP as a party, where I belong, where I represent, in the south we've had 14 years presidency in Obasanjo and Goodluck Jonathan. The north had only 2 years. So it is fair for us, the PDP as a party, to take our records out there to the people, to tell them why we are supporting a northerner, to tell them why we are fielding a northerner. It will be unfair to the north that in 16 years of PDP rule, the north only got 2 years. It is unfair. And it's also a moral question.
There are even those who are saying, as you know, it's not me that said it, that PDP has been in there for 16 years. Nothing to show for it.
When we get to that, we'll bring our records out there. Okay. We will tell them that Nigeria was debt-free when the PDP was in power.
Well, comrade, I wish we had more time, but I'm going to...
We still have more other time to do on this.
Indeed.
Or probably look at the record of both political parties and who has done more for Nigerians.
Exactly.
And I believe it will always be the PDP.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Uloka, Chukwubuike.
Thank you, Okuyori, for having me.
Deputy Director of Media and Publicity
of
the Atiku Okowa, and he believes in his man, his principle, as all others do believe in their principle. But you out there, you hear it all. You heard what is the background before coming in here. You've also heard the arrowhead of the principle of the PR person himself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Okuyori, once again. The pleasure is mine always.
Indeed. So that's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.
In the month of January 2020,